What is up, fam? It's your boy EasyFantasy here, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about a little story that I have about my temporary house. So I guess I'll explain that first. I live in a house right now. Pretty much, this house is kind of a temporary house because we're moving again within the next year, pretty much into a permanent house. A really nice house. Right now, we're kind of living in like a really it's a temporary house. It's not great at all. I have a really tiny room, as you can probably see in some of my videos, or you can see in the face cam at least. Um, but pretty much, we're going to talk about this house. I've mentioned it in commentaries before. Actually, I mentioned it on my old channel. If any of you guys came over from there, I mentioned having a quote unquote haunted house, but it's not really like that. It's kind of like it's we've seen orbs in pictures, and I've had a few weird experiences. I'm not gonna say completely it's ghosts. It could have just been coincidental. Could have been other occurrences or something. I'm not sure, but pretty much I'm just gonna share a little story I had, and then I'll show some pictures. Actually, here's a video. Here's a snippet from the video where I showed a picture because I don't actually have the original pictures anymore. It's pretty tiny. It's a pretty tiny like house in general. Oh yeah, and it's haunted. I'll go into a little story about that maybe a little bit later. And yeah, as you see, that was me a few months ago, a little awkward. But anyway, so one night I was laying in bed, and this was during the school year. It's summer now. I think it was probably like this was like middle of March. Actually, I wasn't laying in bed. I remember I was sitting up. I think I was honestly playing CS with some of my friends, and I was sitting there playing CS, and I had my door like it wasn't like it was literally I think it was shut, but it wasn't like shut to where it's hard to explain. Like the door wasn't shut all the way, but it was pretty much there was a little crack in the door, pretty much, I guess you could say. Except it was pretty much shut, except it just wasn't fully. It's so hard to explain, but um it would take some force to open the door, pretty much is what I'm saying. And so I have a sister, and her room is across from mine. And so pretty much, I was sitting there playing CS one night. I was just talking to my friend. I believe it was Raging Monkey and maybe Perry or Pandanar, or whatever you know him by. Um, and I was sitting there, and my door just flung open like this shit. Like it hit my wall. It hit the wall when it came back, and so this kind of scared me. Like I jumped, and so I immediately got up. I don't even know. I don't know what was going on in the game. Obviously, I don't remember that. But I got up and I ran out in the hallway, and I looked around because my parents' bedroom is like all the way at the end of the house, and I'm in like the other side of the house pretty much, or not really the other side. I'm like in the middle there at the very end. Um, and so I went and I looked down the hallway, and my parents' bedroom, their door was closed, and then my sister's door was also closed. So this is when I thought my sister was like trying to joke with me or something maybe, and so I opened my sister's door and I went and asked her if she saw my dad maybe walk out, because sometimes my dad gets out in the middle of the night or whatever, and she said that no, she hadn't seen my dad walk out, so my dad wouldn't have I don't know why my dad would have pushed my door open anyway, but she said she didn't see him at all, and and then I asked her if like this was some kind of joke she was playing on me or something like that, and she said no, which she could be. I mean, I don't think she would do that, but it could have been a joke or whatever. Um, but pretty much, and then I remember coming back in and closing the door, and then a few probably like an hour later, the door it didn't like swing open, but it started like going back and forth, not like super far distance. It was kind of like just wiggling a little bit, and once again it could have been like wind or like something. I don't know, maybe something happened, because I know like I can hear noises at night, and my dad told me that they're like steel joists under the house that cold, and I think it was still cold during this weather, so like I guess cold and heat kind of like make them expand and retract or whatever. um but then it comes like it's probably like 3 in the morning at this point, and I'm like ready to go to bed, and so I lay in bed and I go to sleep. Everything was fine, and I wake up with like I felt something shaking me. But then I woke up in the morning, and I'm not sure exact time what time it was, but like I I walked around the house and nobody was home. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a lot, by the way. I'm not a very good storyteller. I walked around the house, I no one was home. And it kind of freaked me out, but once again, it could have just been like my fucking cat or something. So I'm not gonna like say completely it was ghosts. I haven't even told my friends the story because I just haven't. Pretty much, that's the story. I mean, the house should have been cleared of whatever it is by now because we kind of like we did some like remedies or whatever. There's this thing you could do. You could like burn sage, which is like sage is kind of like this corn looking thing. I'm not sure. Like it looks like, kind of like a corn um fucking ear of corn. Yeah, it looks like an ear of corn. And you like burn it. And you walk around the house with like a window open. And you tell the spirit to leave. We did that just in case. Obviously, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. Like we before we moved in here, there was like a woman who used to live in. There was like an old woman who used to live here, and pretty much it it's nothing weird has happened. I mean, I'll add to the story or something if something does happen. I'll make a new video. But other than that, that's pretty much the story. Sorry if it was a little hard to understand, if I was rambling especially about the door thing. The door was like it was pretty much closed, just without the it like being actually closed. I don't know how to fucking explain it. But anyway, if you enjoyed, please be sure to like the video and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.